It's time for Florida State basketball. This is the Leonard Hamilton Show. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coke Zero Sugar has real Coke taste with zero sugar and 0 calories. Try one today. And by SunTrust, the official bank of Florida State Athletics. And now your hosts, Gene Deckerhoff and head coach Leonard Hamilton. Welcome to the Leonard Hamilton Show. Today we talk Florida State basketball. We're in the heart of ACC play. And, Coach, the road has been unkind to a lot of teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference. We went out to Miami and took it on the chin, and then we come home and Louisville comes to town.
Well, there's no doubt that this is an outstanding league. Every team that you play is well coached, loaded with talent, and you got to be at your very, very best. And if you can have a 2 or 3 minute period in each game when things are not going well, then you can get behind and they make it very difficult for you to catch up. But in the ACC, there will be a lot of losses, and so what you have to do, you have to figure out a way to get the number of wins that you need. No one's going undefeated in our league. That's just impossible. It's a new day. You don't have dominant teams. You have teams that understand that everybody has a chance, and every night out, you never know who is going to show up, and all you know is that whoever you're playing against will be a good team, and you got to be at your very best.
On today's show, highlights of Florida State versus Miami, highlights of Florida State versus Louisville, big-time college basketball ACC style, and between the highlights packages, we'll have a up-close and personal feature on Brandon Allen, a redshirt senior from Milton, Florida. That's all on today's show. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton Show. Florida State, Miami. Well, this series goes back to 1952. That's our longest-standing rival in college basketball. And the Seminoles visit Coral Gables to take on the 15th-ranked Hurricanes. And, Coach, early in this ball game, we just can't buy a basket, and Miami is knocking the net off.
Well, I think our defense had a little bit to do with that, and their offensive execution was on point. Early in the game, I thought that they made us work for every one of our baskets. They got off to a really good start in the first half. We made a game of it at the end in the second half late, but we just came up a little short.
Florida State with another defensive stop, 11 steals in this game, Coach, by FSU.
And you see that when we're getting steals and getting stops and getting baskets as a result of that, you know, the game is a lot easier for us. We got to stop, we got to run out. For whatever reason, as a lot of part of the game, we start walking the ball up, and here again, we got a steal, and we turn that into a basket. We didn't get enough of those.
19 points off Miami turnovers, and Brian Angola has become a team leader at the offensive end and also the defensive end, hasn't he?
Well, Brian's been a very good player for us, and he's really having a fantastic year.
Speaking about team leadership, there's the guy that does it all. A three-point shot from Terrence Mann. You'll take that every day of the week.
No doubt about that, but that was off of a penetration pass. You got guys making high percentage shots like that. You got to continue to keep executing and getting enough of those and without the turnovers.
Despite Miami making, 9 of their first 11 shots, Florida State hanging with the Hurricanes here in the first half.
Well, in reality, they made 14 of their first 15 of their shots, and that's not very good defense.
Nice penetrating drive by Phil Kofor. Phil Kofor, 11 big points. That's 2 of his. Nice rebound, the ball knocked away. Here's Chris Kamaji. We see Chris for the first time in 11 ball games.
Well, we have not had the availability of Chris this year, and it's going to take him a while to get back to the 100%. He was playing excellent basketball before his injury. So we just got to be patient with him and allow him to get back on top of his game, get his rhythm back. 8 big rebounds, 5 points in his first action since a foot injury down in Jamaica. He hadn't played since we came back from the Jamaica Classic. PJ Savoy, that's what he does, Coach, 3-point shot. Well, we got to make sure we get PJ back on top of his game. Here again, we were able to get some transition baskets, and we got out early and was able to get a couple of baskets. We need to make sure that we continue to keep getting those types of stops, deflection steals, and getting some easy baskets.
At halftime, Coach, we're down for the first time this season. We trail at halftime. We're down 13. We're going to whittle away and make this a one-possession ball game toward the end.
Well, once again, we came up short. We kept making runs, but we were not consistent with our execution. We played against a team that executed a lot better than we did.
In the half court, here's a nice drive. You know, we think of M.J. Walker as just a 3-point shooter, but he can attack the basket with the best of them.
Well, M.J.'s future is very bright. He's going to be an outstanding player for us.
Fast break points are rare in the ACC, but there's M.J. again. Nice dish for Brian Angola. That's how you draw up the three-on-2 fast break, isn't it?
You know, I'm seeing these highlights that we still seem to be digging out of a ditch. We're down 14, here we are down 9. We just couldn't get enough of those. There's no doubt that our guys were battling. Fiondu had a great game. We need to have given him a little more help.
Yeah, he had 12 rebounds. That ties a career best. 12 rebounds in a ball game by a redshirt freshman. He's got springs in his sneakers, doesn't he?
Well, he's a hard-nosed, a very aggressive guy. He's just going after rebounds.
Speaking of?
With a tremendous amount of effort. And you like to see that type of effort. We hope that enthusiasm rubs off on the rest of his teammates.
We had 21 offensive rebounds, including that one by Cavangeli, and here's a nice little floater by Phil Kofer.
We dug a hole for ourselves at halftime, and here we are. We're making a gallant effort to try to catch up, but we just couldn't get enough of those types of baskets, those type of plays. Those are high percentage shots when you can penetrate and create, collapse the defense and create opportunities for your team. That's really, really good.
Well, another three-point shot. And Coach, here it's a 4-point deficit. You spend the time out, talk about what you wanted to do. We had a chance to make this a one-point ball game.
Well, we came up a little short. We didn't shoot well from the three-point line. We didn't shoot well from an overall field goal percentage. That's what happens when you go on the road. You got to be at your very best. And I thought that Miami was at their best, and we were not.
Miami prevails in the first meeting. We will play Miami later on here in the month of January at the Tucker Center. Look forward to that ball game. Up next, a chance to visit with Brandon Allen. His dad played basketball at Florida State, 14th all-time leading scorer in the history of FSU. We're going to meet Brandon Allen in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton Show. You know, back in the early 1980s, a young man by the name of Randy Allen from Milton, Florida, came to Florida State. At that time, maybe one of the highest thought of recruits in the history of the program. And lo and behold, 25, 30 years later, his son comes to Florida State, and it's Brandon Allen, a walk-on for us.
Well, Brandon has done a fantastic job for us. He's an outstanding student. He's going to have a great career away from basketball, but he's really been a tremendous teammate and a great student-athlete at Florida State.
They say life's a journey. You get pushed, pulled, sent down rigorous paths that seem to have no clear direction. But in the end, many are led exactly where they are meant to be. For redshirt senior forward Brandon Allen, that seemed to be exactly the case when he walked onto the Florida State men's basketball team nearly 3 decades after his father starred for the Seminoles.
I've been a Florida State fan my whole life, and that's not even because of my dad. I mean, I can remember from a young age coming to football games and just falling in love with Florida State. It wasn't a hard choice on which school I wanted to go to.
Well, you know, he used to watch videos of me when I was playing here, and he's always been, of course, I've always been a Seminole, and his mom's a Seminole, and so it's automatic for him to become a Seminole.
There was a small detour, however, on Brandon Allen's journey to get to Florida State, as he would not arrive in Tallahassee until after spending 3 years pitching for different affiliations of the San Francisco Giants organization.
So I was committed to go to Auburn to play baseball, and I knew that I might get drafted. I wasn't sure, so I get a call from a scout saying that, hey, we're about to draft you next round. I left like 2 weeks later, went out to Arizona, just a young 18-year-old kid, just like wondering what's going on. And I come to the locker room, there's a bunch of like 30-year-old men. Like it was a shock for sure.
As the grind of professional baseball started to set in, there remained a constant growing thought in the back of Brandon's mind, reminding him of his one true love, basketball.
My senior year of basketball, like when it was over, I was like, man, I hope this isn't the last time I get to play basketball. So that was always in the back of my head. So when I started to struggle a little bit in baseball, I really started thinking like, hey, I could go walk on somewhere, and what better place to walk on than Florida State, my favorite school.
Brandon's dreams quickly became a reality as he would earn a spot on the men's basketball team, wearing the same exact number his dad once did in the 80s.
Brandon did the whole baseball circuit, but I think his true love was really basketball. And you know, for me, it's going to be a good thing to watch him all year. I'm going to try to come to every game I can.
Beginning his college experience 3 years removed from high school allowed Brandon to approach life with a more mature perspective.
Just going through that grind of professional baseball and seeing how professionals are supposed to handle their business, I think that helped me how to approach my work ethic here.
He's so smart, he got so much experience, like life experience, that when he speaks, everybody pay attention to him because he knows what's going on in the future, in life for us. Like for myself, I look at him as an older brother.
Brandon's efforts to successfully manage athletics and academics have not gone unnoticed by his teammates and coaches.
He really is a devoted young man to his academics. In our locker room, we have computer stations there where they can work on their stuff, and he spends more time in there working on his schoolwork than he does getting ready for basketball practice or for a game.
Brandon's dedication to his academics has paid off, earning him several distinctions, including the Golden Torch Award, Seminoles Outstanding Student Athlete, as well as most recently being named to the National Association of Basketball Coaches Honors Corps.
He's committed to what he wants to be. He's had that goal in his mind since he came to Florida State, and again, that sets another good example for our players, that a guy can balance their time management between studying, between basketball, and being tired, and all the things that come with being a student athlete.
This spring will be Brandon's final semester at FSU, and while the idea of graduating is bittersweet, it has allowed him to reflect on the journey that has brought him to where he is today.
It is kind of weird now that the end, I can see the end, and because of that, I'm trying to cherish every day.
Words can't explain how proud I am, especially the academic part of it, because he's definitely got a bright future no matter what happens.
While Brandon's journey won't end after he graduates from FSU, no matter where his future path may take him, just like his dad, his strides will forever be those of a Florida State Seminole.
Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton Show. Great visiting with Brandon Allen just a few minutes ago. And now we get back to highlights. Florida State hosting the Louisville Cardinals put that 28-game home winning streak on the line against a team that came in wanting a win in the worst way.
Well, there's no doubt that they were ready. They came out the second half and they really made a lot of adjustments. And really, their length and their ability to block shots. They blocked 8 shots against us. We took the ball to the basket, and they blocked 8 shots, but they probably changed about 12, 15 more, which made it very difficult for us.
Florida State in the first half, Coach, it was almost deja vu of a year. We started out last year 14-0. This past game, we started out 9-0. We were playing outstanding basketball.
But I think what we got early on, we got deflections, we got steals, we got runouts, and we got easy baskets. And we just did not add the half-court execution nearly as much as we should have. Even though we were up like 13 points at halftime, I thought we could have been up a lot more. We just found it very difficult to get some of those baskets around the lane because of their length. 2 of the top shot blocking teams in college basketball collide at the Tucker Center. Coach, we're knocking down 3-point shots in the first half. Here's a 4-point play for Brian Angola. Well, we did not. We were 0 for 8, I believe, at one point in the second half with threes. We hit our last 2 threes that we took. Brian Angola did, but we had a period there where we had a difficult time making threes. 18
points for Brian Angola in the game, 11 assists in this ballgame for the Noles, and here's a flush by Chris Kamaji. He's back. This is his second game back from his foot injury.
Well, we have to get Chris going. We're going to get him back involved in our system, so he's really a tremendous asset to us inside.
Yeah, he was putting that shot up against a 7-foot setter. Anous Mahmoud is 7 foot. Chris Kamaji is 7'4". Size matters in basketball. Great shot by Terrence Mann. Terrence leads us in scoring, matches a career high with 25 points. He does it all, doesn't he, Coach?
Well, he's a very good player for us. He's having an outstanding year.
Now, this is what you'd like to see out of PJ, huh?
Well, we're going to get more of that. PJ is going to be very important in the Syracuse game because he's such a good, outstanding shooter.
There's a nice drive to the lane. You know, we consider Brian Angola a natural-born shooter, but he can flash to the basket, can't he?
Well, that's part of our system. We love, wow, that's an outstanding shot, but we like to get perimeter shots. We like to attack the basket. That's kind of the way our system goes.
Trent Forrest playing the point. Phil Cofer says, I can bank one in. He called glass, didn't he?
Well, the clock was running down, and we had very little time, so he had to take that shot.
Now, a little closer in, Phil can't get it, but we get the offensive rebound. We're doing a heck of a job on the offensive glass. How about this little flip shot by Kevin Gelly?
But he's doing a great job in the interior. He's big, he's strong, he's really, really physical and aggressive. He's just really making his presence felt. He has such great determination.
Right underneath the basket and good use of the glass and a little flip. How about a behind-the-back pass to Cabangeli? He's got 4 points. We just saw his 2 baskets in this ball game.
That was an instinctive pass by MJ.
Florida State with a steal and a breakaway and a slam dunk by Terrence Baird. 25 points for Terrence in this ball game, 8 rebounds, almost a double-double.
Well, we had our way in the first half. There's no doubt that once again you see us really spreading the floor, creating dribble drive opportunities, and we're creating offense for each other, making great unselfish plays. Good ball movement.
Terrence Mann shows he's got range. He had 2 3-point shots in this game.
Good patience. Good patience on his part, but we made 4 passes and got a wide open shot.
Yeah. I think the goal this year is 300 passes a ball game. He had 4-5 on that possession. Here again, defense leads to offense, and Terrence finishes off with a layup.
We didn't get enough of these. Most of the time when we get deflections and steals and get good stops, we're able to get some really, really good, easy opportunities for us. We just didn't get enough of them in this game.
MJ Walker with a slam dunk. He finished with 6 points in the ball game. We watch it again. He elevates, stuffs. McDonald's All-American here. Terrence Mann again taking charge of this. When the team needs baskets, it seems like Terrence always delivers.
Well, there's no doubt that he's having a fantastic year for us. He seems to be giving us a lot what we need during certain critical parts of the game.
Speaking of going against the team that's the number 2 shot blocking team in the country, he just attacked the rim and got a layup, and here he goes again.
Well, there's no doubt that we needed every one of those points down the stretch. He seemed to be the only guy that's able to give us some offense during this stretch.
They tied the game at 55 all, and they don't take the lead until about 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. Here again, we challenge a shot blocking team, and Terrence Mann gets a benevolent bounce, and how about this layup? You work on that in practice, Coach?
That's a creative opportunity for the creative skill that he has that I'm not really sure we even practice.
We're battling from behind, and you need shots like that. If you trail by 6 or 7, we make a 2-point ball game, and we're in the final minute here and have a chance, just like the Miami game, have a chance to maybe win this thing. Angola's jumper, here it is. And you're looking at a 2-point deficit. We just need one more stop, Coach.
Well, we came up a little short. It was almost kind of, wow, I didn't realize that he got fouled that much on that shot.
Pretty hard.
Wow, and that was a big play. Wow, I'm glad I didn't see that angle during the game.
Well, the Louisville Cardinals come to Tallahassee, and the 28-game win streak at home goes by the boards. Coach, our first loss at home since 2016. A good run for the Seminoles.
Well, we didn't get enough of those deflections and steals and easy baskets that we've been accustomed to getting. We had our opportunities. We had the lead. I've complained all year long that we need to become a better half-court execution team. But now we're not getting those deflections and steals and the stops that it takes for us to get those easy baskets. We got to get back to playing Seminole basketball, getting out running, being a little bit more aggressive offensively. For whatever reason, we've been walking the ball down the court a little bit more for whatever reason. And now we got to get back to really being who we are. I've said all along, the talent in our league is such that the team that plays as close as they can to their abilities normally is the one that comes out on top. And I thought that Louisville did a very good job utilizing their strengths, their length, to keep us from not getting into the lane in the half court.
Florida State plays another home game Saturday. We take on Syracuse. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And then on the road, FSU plays at Boston College and Virginia Tech next week. We'll talk about the week ahead in just a moment. Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton television show. We're talking Florida State basketball. And, Coach, before we leave, Syracuse, we know what they have, that 2-3 zone. We're going to see a lot of it Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Well, there's no doubt we need to be at our best. We need to be executing on the offensive end because we know exactly what's coming, the 2-3 zone. Now we have to defend ourselves a little bit better. They have some outstanding players that have gotten off the great stars. They are a handful on the defensive end for us as well. So this has all the makings of another top aggressive, fun ACC game to watch.
What do you think? Let's go ahead and start another 28-game home win streak. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us on the Leonard Hamilton Show. Go Noles. We'll see you next week.
This has been the Leonard Hamilton Show. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coke Zero Sugar has real Coke taste with 0 sugar and 0 calories. Try one today. And by SunTrust, the official bank of Florida State Athletics.